Well then, Matt, early years leaders. My name's Gary Aubin. I work for Whole Education on their Matt Send program. I'm a former Matt Send leader and primary and secondary Senko and person who does those things. It's really nice to have a few minutes of your time just to talk about some of the things that we've learnt on the Send program, which I believe has been going for substantially longer than the early years work from Whole Education, to try and help you to avoid some of the pitfalls and speed up on some of the things that we've learnt along the way. So the first is in relation to EMS, and the second is a bit more broad. So firstly, in terms of evaluate my school, you as a Matt early years leader have access to a dashboard, as you may have seen. So you can see how your early years settings and schools are doing in relation to one another. So we've learnt about the capacity of the reports on EMS to really support you in a trust role there. So Fee's going to show you live how to do that. She's going to share her screen and do so. So just a few sort of headings and things to think about, really. The first is across the core areas, the 7 core themes: intent, implementation, impact, etc. It's possible for you to see as an aggregate or as an average which settings, what's the overall highest area for you as a trust. So, for example, in the one that Fee's created, the sort of dummy one that I've seen, leadership and management is the lowest. So that's really good to know, isn't it? In your trust, there's a collective recognition that there's work to do around leadership and management. So therefore, it's okay. That perhaps should be a focus for me as a Matt early years leader to either champion our early years leads in our schools and settings, or to look at how head teachers feel they're able to lead and oversee the early years provisions in their schools and in their settings. So you can see overall by strand. What you'll also be able to do, and Fee will show you, is to see the best in your trust. So of all the EMS statements that your early years leads will have RAG rated, you'll be able to see an average. So you'll see that, in a particular example that I've seen here, we've got tours of the school are offered to all incoming parents and children, and the rest of that statement, 6.3, is the top one for this particular trust. So again, good to know what's worth celebrating and acknowledging, and potentially even sharing out wider outside your own trust. After that, Fee's going to show you how to see, similarly, what the collective areas for development for. So when taken an average of all of your settings, which EMS statements are the lowest? And that should, again, give you the opportunity to go, these are things that perhaps as a trust will take a bit of a lead on. We'll get some external CPD on, or we'll share a couple of ways that it might be done, because there is a sort of collective thing that we all need to work on together that might be discussed in our next network meeting, that might be raised with head teachers, that kind of thing. The final thing Fee will show you is about the sort of shared learning opportunity. So if you have 6 early year settings, let's say, in your trust, then you can see on EMS which of them are giving themselves next to each other, which of them are giving themselves a 4, or a 3, i.e. secure or excellent, against which ones are giving themselves a 1 or a 2, i.e. beginning or developing. And so therefore, it's not on you as a trust early years lead to have all the answers. Sometimes it's about just championing where there is good work. So in that trust of 6 schools, it's likely that all 6 schools will be saying they're doing well at something that another school has said they're not doing quite so well at. So there's a really good sort of just a framework and facilitator, really, of that shared learning. You're a 3 on this, you're a 1 on this. Talk to each other, or go and visit each other, or line up a call, or share a resource, or whatever it might be. But it should help you in your cross-trust role to be able to do that really well. Okay. Final thing I'd like to talk through is just some of the things that we've learned on the Send program that, again, might provide you with shortcuts doing this from an early years point of view. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, first thing is about impact. It's about helping Senkos not just to manage their workload and to sort of get more work done, but also to really think what are the most impactful things that they can do. And so we think the Send program has really helped Senkos to do that. And I hope that's a sort of, shortcut you might take there. The second thing is about always be asking, who are the stakeholders? And asking your early years leads, who are the stakeholders here? Particularly within Send, people often find they're flying the flag alone. So actually, we found that this program has been a really nice way to go, well, all right, but let me ask you and put back to you, who are the stakeholders who are going to join you in this? Related to that is the creation of the action plan, of course, and my advice here is that you keep the action plans close. We've certainly all are certainly written action plans that guide me greatly for a week or so and end up in the back of a drawer and not seen again. So keeping those action plans close, talking about them, bringing them, having them every time you meet your early years leads. The next sort of tip is about looking at the online CPD sessions. So some of those are live twilights that are being planned, like the one on Send and Early Years in June, for example. Some of it's about looking at the digital network and going, I might not have to just create this only from what I think or my own bit of research I might go and do, but actually there may well be an answer, a template, a document that supports this early years leads challenge already. My next thing is about updating EMS term leads and not just having a sort of, that we've done it once and we'll do it again when whole ed ask us to do it again, but actually making it a document that you regularly use to assess progress against, really, and to monitor and to track and sometimes to celebrate. My next tip is about finding someone else who's doing better with a priority EMS statement. So if there's a school or a setting that's a 1 or a 2 in one area, rather than again going with a blank page of A4, what should we do about this? Okay, which school has got a 3 or a 4? Have we checked that there's something in what they're saying is a 3 or a 4? And then how can we mine and bottle that expertise for the other settings' benefit? It's about supporting line managers. So it's not just about going, let me as a maths person work with the early years lead, but actually if they've got an internal line manager, be it a head teacher or someone else, what work are you doing to support them rather than just use it supporting the early years lead? And also, where does that use the program and the EMS data and the action plan and the CPD as ways to support that? Final couple of things. Tell us what you need. We're building exemplification and practice and resource on the Send bit of the digital network. We're aligning our expertise into practice of twilight sessions with what people want. And I know the same is true and is the desire in the early years work as well. Final 2 points. One, support and advocate for your early years leads. We found that this has been a really good way of helping our MatSend leads to lift the voice of the Senkos in their school and of course their trust. This program should support you to support and advocate for your wonderful hardworking early years leads. And finally, celebrate. There is a real opportunity in the way that the EMS tracks progress, in the way that we're bringing people together and going, that's great, let me see what you're doing over here. There's a real opportunity for celebration and sharing of good practice. I really hope, as we've sort of learned within Send, that's a useful set of tips and things. I'll pass you back now in the capable hands of Fee. Thank you very much.